As the Director of Marketing and Research for Traylor University, you are involved with the preparation of documents for the university's upcoming accreditation effort. A major part of your report will be the presentation of Traylor's economic impact on the community. Using your expertise in developing word tables, you will create tables that illustrate Traylor University's economic impact, including those tables in a mailing to the university's Board of Trustees. The document shown is a draft of the report for the trustees. At the end of the report, you will create a couple of tables to describe Traylor's economic impact. You introduce your first table that will identify the top sectors in which the university has made a difference economically. A table enables you to organize data in a grid of rows and columns. You insert a 4-column by 5-row table. The insertion point is located in the top left cell. Press Tab to move among cells as you type a heading row for the table. You enter data in the table to indicate community and state interests that are positively impacted by the presence of Traylor University. Press Ctrl-End to move to the end of the document. The second table will describe sources of economic impact. Drawing a table is a more free-form method of creating a table than is simply inserting a table. You can create rows and columns of varying height and width, and you can erase grid lines to create merged cells or add grid lines to split existing cells. In this case, you draw a table consisting of 3 columns and 4 rows. The Eraser tool enables you to erase table grid lines. You erase a vertical grid line, resulting in a 2-column by 4-row table, although the resulting columns are not identically sized. You erase the remaining grid line in the first row to create a merged cell in which you can place a table heading. The heading in row 1 identifies the table's purpose, followed by table data indicating sources of impact. Pressing Tab after each entry moves the insertion point to the next cell or row. As you type, any text that reaches the right side of the cell is automatically continued on the next line within the cell. The first attempt at developing a table is seldom perfect. Occasionally, you will find it necessary to format the contents of one or more columns or rows, perhaps changing text appearance or adjusting cell alignment. You might even need to delete rows or columns. Or perhaps you have left out data and need to insert one or more rows or columns. To select a row or column to modify, point outside the edge of the row or column and click to select the item. To select a column, the pointer should resemble a downward directed black arrow. You determine that the category column in Table 1 is not necessary, so you delete it. Selections in the Rows and Columns group on the Layout tab enable you to insert rows or columns above, below, or to the left or right of the currently selected row or column. Here, you insert a row in which you can include a table heading. An insert control displays when you point to a grid line separating rows or columns. Click the Insert control to insert a row or column. You can insert multiple rows or columns if you select several rows or columns before displaying and clicking the Insert control. You insert a blank row above row 2 in Table 2. It is always a good idea to check spelling before completing a document. The title in the first row of Table 1 is not attractive as it is limited to one small cell. You merge cells in that row to provide more space for the entry. The first column in Table 1 is somewhat wider than the contents of the column, resulting in a good bit of wasted space in the first column, while crowding the column to the right. By dragging a column border, you reduce the column width of the first column, beginning in row 2. With multiple rows or columns selected, you can choose from options on the Table Tools Layout tab to adjust row height or column width. You adjust the row height of rows 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 to 0.3. Because text wraps in row 6, the height of that row is not adjusted. The first column of Table 1 lists a sector in which an area of economic impact is identified. Each sector should be further identified by a division. To make this adjustment, you split column 1 into 2 columns so that the first column includes the sector, while the second will include the associated division. Populate the division columns with data. To better identify columns included in Table 2, you split the second row to make room for column headings. You drag the grid line dividing the newly split row so that it aligns with the existing grid line dividing the same 2 columns in following rows. Each column is identified with a column heading. After selecting the entire table, you adjust the height of rows for all cells. Such consistency results in an attractive, well-designed table display. The tables included in the document are complete with respect to content, but might be more attractive with centered column headings and a bit of color and shading. The Table Tools Layout tab includes options that enable you to align cell content both horizontally and vertically. You choose to center align the contents of the second row of Table 1. You right-align numbers in Table 1 and then drag to reduce the column width of the rightmost column to better accommodate the column of numbers. You can select from character and paragraph formatting options on the Home tab to improve the appearance of table data. You might choose to bold, italicize, or underline selected table contents. You apply boldface to column headings to clearly identify table contents. A table style is a pre-designed set of borders, shading, font sizes, and other attributes that can instantly brighten and color coordinate a table. A gallery of table styles is available for you to choose from on the Table Tools Design tab. The table style you select removes some of the previous formatting, applying color-coordinated font color, shading, and a colored border. The style also removes the inside vertical borders. You continue formatting the tables As you view the page of tables, you note that the tables are not centered on the page horizontally. Right-click a table and select from a shortcut menu to display the Table Properties dialog box. At that point, you center the table horizontally on the page. You view the effects of the horizontal alignment of the tables. To support the accreditation process for Traylor University, you develop 2 tables that describe the university's economic impact on the service area and state. You ensure that both tables are attractive with appropriate styles, alignment, and character formatting. You are well on the way to completing the executive summary.